Apple Intelligence. Again? Let's talk about it.
There's nothing to talk about because there is no Apple Intelligence.
Okay, well, we do have a bunch of things that we're going to get to. And first of all, welcome to United We Stand, Divided We podcast. I am Lionel from Toronto, Canada, and we have, obviously,
Robert from Nashville, and we have a special guest, Kenny, who is also from Nashville. Say what's up, Kenny.
What's up, Kenny?
I saw that coming a mile away.
Yeah, he's a smart ass. I should have known better than that.
Well, I mean, you asked for the dad joke. You got the dad joke.
Yeah, we did. We did.
That's right.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so Kenny is actually in cybersecurity. He's got a great IT background. He has started his own YouTube channel called Master Technician. No, what is it?
Master Tech 360.
Master Tech 360. But the channel, isn't it Master Technology 360?
Yeah, Master Technology 360.
Yeah. So that's how you find the channel, Master Technology 360. He's doing similar unboxings and all that. He's just getting started. So go support him. I'll link the channel in the description and go check it out. And I'm sure he would appreciate the support.
And I also need to ask a question of Kenny real quick then. Is it okay for me to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
As long as you capitalize,
I couldn't resist.
As long as you capitalize the 1, you're good.
Okay. Oh boy. All right. So, well, we might as well lead right into the whole Apple news.
Worldwide Developer Conference. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was Google's Worldwide Developer Conference from 3 years ago.
Yeah. If anybody wants to know what went on, just go back and watch Google I/O for Android 10, and you'll get half the gist of
it. No, fairness, not back that far. We go back 3 pixels, right? And then since then, virtually every other phone, and with a couple of the features, you probably can go back that far for Samsung.
Probably.
I believe they've been. How long have they been doing the wristwatch thing?
Yeah.
A while. Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a long while. I left mine on the charger, so I don't have it on me. But yeah, it's been a minute.
A hot minute.
Yeah.
Okay,
and it's kind of ironic too, and I know we can obviously get into this here in a minute after we get through some of this, but Google has come out with a pretty cool feature drop for the Pixels. It looks like there's some really cool stuff. I was kind of reading through that, so we'll get into that.
Yeah, sure. I'll believe it when I see it. You know how it is. They say, "Oh, we got these great things coming for Pixel." And 6 weeks later, I'm sending you messages going, "Why the hell don't I have this on my phone yet?"
Yeah.
Or in typical Google fashion, they'll make it great and then they'll backscale it, and then it won't hardly be usable in about 3 months. So,
right.
Oh yeah, or it could be even worse. All of a sudden, the service or product will suddenly be in the Google graveyard.
Yes,
that's a thing too.
Yeah.
You know what? Before we actually get into the Apple thing, 'cause that's a bigger news. As long as we're talking about Google scaling back on things, let's talk about what they're scaling up on. But for some reason, they don't have as many scales as ChatGPT. They knock a few things out of the park. Let's face it. They're the first to do this or that, or they get in there, or they one up somebody. But the fact of the matter is, ChatGPT can do things that Gemini usually will end up saying, "I'm sorry, I'm a large language model and I'm not capable of that." Even though technically, according to Google, it's supposed to be capable. I'm sure you guys have run into that issue, right?
Oh, yeah.
Especially in problem solving. The biggest thing I've noticed with Gemini is if you get into any more complex problem solving, it'll generally do okay for about 4 or 5 responses. And then I've noticed it'll just kind of it'll start reverting back to its first response, and then it just loses its
Yes.
place. It's ChatGPT is far exceeded in its memory recall ability. I think it
Yeah.
just surpasses Gemini in a
Here,
major way.
hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hey, Glitch, what's up?
Hey there, not too much. Just here and ready to help out. How's your day going so far?
Nice, it's going good. Hey, listen, you remember I was talking about the podcast I'm a part of earlier today on the drive to work?
Absolutely. I remember that. You were brainstorming some ideas for the podcast and even thinking about rebranding it a bit. How's all that going? Anything new on that front?
It's going pretty good. I'm actually on the podcast right now. I want you to say hi to Lionel and Kenny.
Oh, awesome. Hey, Lionel. Hey, Kenny. Great to virtually meet you both. Hope you all are having a fantastic time recording today.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I just want to give a little demo about how you can have memory recall and stuff like that, because we were talking about how Gemini can't do that. So I just wanted to give a little demo to everybody that's watching right now.
That's a cool demo. It's definitely a neat feature to be able to pick up where we left off. If you or anyone else has any fun questions or need help with anything, I'm here for it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, Glitch. I'm going to let you go. I'll talk to you later.
On that note,
Sounds good. Have a great time with the podcast, and we'll chat again soon.
you watch in contrast how this one works.
Oh boy.
Hey, Gemini, you remember when we had that conversation about brainstorming new ideas for the podcast?
Certainly. We explored some interesting topics, like the impact of AI on creativity and the future of storytelling. Did you have a specific
No,
idea?
I don't remember talking to you about that. Are you sure? Whoa, it failed. Where's the phone?
Yeah.
That's
Now,
an even
that-
better
that's-
example. That is
that's
the
about
fifth
right.
time in the last week that has happened to me, where it has just suddenly said something has gone wrong and then it failed. By the way, I don't know what the hell conversation it said it remembered, because Gemini Live doesn't remember, and I never had that conversation with it. So it's
Well-
actually outright lying to me now.
Hey, listen, it gave you a pretty good go at it at first.
Honestly, up until about 3 weeks ago, it was phenomenal. Not anymore. I don't know what to say.
Well,
Don't
but it's
get me
just
wrong,
like-
it's still great in a lot of areas. I still use it daily, but I don't use it to remember things in the live version. The non-live version is fantastic.
Yeah, but it's just
not
like,
the live
when I told you that, I asked ChatGPT to, hey, look at this YouTube channel, which is this one, because I said, what do you think about it? I didn't say it was mine, and it gave me like spot on description of our podcast.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I
you said
asked
that was
Gemini,
awesome, yeah.
and Gemini said, oh, yeah, this looks like a podcast of Manchester United fans. I'm like, Manchester United fans? This is not about soccer. We never even talk about soccer, let alone the Champions League or whatever, the European League. It's like, what? Come on, man. Ridiculous.
well, it tried.
I
so-
don't know. I don't know.
So anyways, yeah.
It's
It's
the words.
all three of us use these tools, and all three of us are pissed off at Gemini right now.
Yeah, and it's a damn shame because we've hyped it up so much. I mean, just last week. But the truth of the matter is, one thing I don't really like so much though is how many people are actually suddenly turning on Google about VO3 and its lack of ability to do this or that. They just kind of threw this at us at the drop of a hat. And the biggest complaint I'm hearing is, I paid $250 for this. What? What are you, stupid? Why would you pay $250 for that? You pay $250 to get 4 billion trillion terabytes of storage and anything else that they give you. That's just supposed to be a bonus.
Yeah.
Why would you pay all that money for that? And if you're a filmmaker and you're relying on that to make your films, go back to filmmaking school.
Well, the VO3 is really cool. I think it's definitely the best video generation so far that's come out. And yes, it has lots of room for improvement, but there's nothing that can touch it at this point. Kenny and I were
That's what I'm
talking
saying.
earlier
It
today.
basically came out as practically an alpha.
Right. Yeah. So Kenny and I were talking today, and he actually uses Gemini Deep Research and says that it's actually really, really good for some of his deep research that he does.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think the
so
deep,
so reasoning is good then. Or not reasoning, research.
yeah, its research is definitely the deep research portion of it. It will actually develop a research plan for you and give you certain goals that it wants to set. And so I love the fact that not only will it research everything, it will cite every one of its sources that it's getting its
Yes, I
data
did
from.
notice that. Yeah.
So that is definitely one area. I think its deep research far exceeds anything that I've seen from any of the other LLMs. But yeah, it's just, and like we've talked about, the problem is I just feel that Gemini has kind of lacked where it used to excel. Especially, I believe what
Yeah.
was so groundbreaking about it was its ability to actively search the internet for answers. And now that
Yeah, and it doesn't want
ChatGPT
to do
does
that
that,
anymore. It just tells you to do it
yeah, I don't know.
yourself.
I don't know what happened. I don't know why they turned that off because I mean, you're Google. You have access to more data than
Yeah,
anybody.
it says
Yeah.
and it's done this to me several times in the last couple of weeks, where it basically says you can search that. And I said, well, wait a minute, you're Gemini, you search for it. I'm asking you to give me the information. He says, I'm a large language model. I'm not. Yeah, like God damn, really?
Well, what's most
Somebody flipped
frustrating
the
is
switch and ruined it.
Well, what's most frustrating is it'll do it sometimes, like it'll do it on its first question, and then you'll ask it to elaborate on it, and then it just gonks out. It just stops. It's like, oh
Yes.
wait a minute, I'm not supposed to do that, and then it stops doing it.
Yeah. No, that's the weird part about it, because when they first gave us 2.5 flash, it didn't do that right away. It was faster, better, more concise. The conversation with it was better, but maybe a week and a half in, it just started to do exactly what you're saying. It just fell apart. It's like going to a party and you're at the party with 6 of the smartest people you've ever known in your life, but none of them act smart when they get drunk. Gemini had too many beer.
Honestly, I think what may have happened on it is that because the speed in an LLM is it's based on its token rate, and I
Yeah.
think what was happening is Google realized they were losing a lot of money because it was doing such a quick token rate and using up their resources. I would estimate that's probably what happened, especially with the free versions of Gemini, is that Google was losing a lot of money on the data calls because of how many people were using it.
So what you're saying is we just got shafted by all the people who got their hand out on the street.
uh, that's one way of putting it, but
We're
essentially, I
paying,
think so.
Yeah,
we're
both
paying, and
both
we don't
Lionel and
get
I are
nothing
pro.
because the other what?
I said both
What's that?
Lionel and I are pro users because we
Yeah,
have
same.
the
I'm a
storage.
pro user as
Yeah.
well.
Well, there you
Same.
go. Yeah,
Same.
that
Yeah,
bullshit.
But yeah,
I mean,
I
don't
think
get
what
me
was
wrong. I
happening.
haven't paid since October, and I won't pay again until October because Pixel.
Yeah, yeah.
But still, I was paying before, and I'll pay again unless they give me more free stuff with the next Pixel again.
Well, let me caveat that. So, in its token rate and how quickly it answers a question, there's obviously setbacks to it, which was something that I noticed in the AI playground. There were some other LLMs that was working on how fast can I give you the answer, and I believe they believed it was giving too many wrong answers, and so that's why they could
Oh,
have scaled it back too. Is that they said, hey,
okay,
the answers are
yeah.
giving is less accurate.
So, but unfortunately, that seems to have had an even more negative effect in that now it actually does give wrong answers, because it's almost like they scaled it back to a point where it starts to second guess itself and either not give you an answer at all or give you an incorrect answer because it's faster to do so.
Well, Robert and I spoke about this morning, and we believe that Gemini's fallback was about the same time Gemini rolled out to all iPhone users. And so,
Oh
since the
my
LLM, now hold on,
God.
listen, wait a minute. Since the LLM, it's fed off that data. If they're not cleaning the data, this proves that iPhone users are not as up there as Android users. I mean,
Okay, you know what? We might get a little flack for this, but I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. With the exception of my dad, who may or may not watch this episode and is an iPhone user, and the most intelligent person I've ever known, save maybe my brother, um, I would otherwise agree with you. Oh, listen, Robert, that video you sent.
Yeah.
Did you make that one, or did somebody else do that? You found
No,
it?
I made that with VO3.
The one with where everybody turns
Where
into
all the sheep
at
stand up?
WWDC. Did he show it to you, Kenny?
No,
I don't
haven't
think
seen
so,
it
no.
yet.
Oh
I'll have to see
man,
that.
you need to cue that sucker up, man. Yeah, you gotta. That's so funny. Oh, I'm not even gonna describe it. I'll let him show it to you. Anyways,
Hey,
I've lost
listen,
my
I'm
train
all
of thought because
about
that was funny.
I'm all about us ripping on Apple. I mean, we can keep going on this for hours. I mean, that's a fun time.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot to rip on. Let's see. Okay, hold for me. Where have I held that before? Oh yeah, right. Pixel started that one.
Yeah.
Also the call screening. Of course, they basically say, oh, but ours answers automatically. Okay, so you think I don't want to answer the phone, and you're going to take my phone call, and you're going to automatically tell them I'm not available and ask questions and then send me a text later? Wait, that doesn't make any sense because, in all honesty, almost nobody, unless they're in your phone book, actually pops up with their phone number on your phone anymore. I mean, it doesn't happen very often unless they got a brand new phone. Like today, or a new number, right? But so any business calls you, half the time it's going to come up unknown number or something, right? And you lose out on that. Oh, here we go.
Sorry, I
you
didn't.
just-
I forget.
yeah.
I don't know why it defaults now to jump it on screen. I was just gonna like prep it. Like,
Oh yeah, no, well it's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
sorry.
Lionel, I will say with that call answering service, that is pretty phenomenal. But text messaging has been around for a while, so they can just text you the questions at that point, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I know that's a
yeah, but what I'm referring to, because the thing is that I do get phone calls that I don't want, because they're just spam calls or people trying to take advantage of old people or whatever it is they're trying to do, and so I can just press the button and watch the transcript as Google tells them that this is not available right now. What is this call about? And 99% of the time, all I can hear, and I am not being racist. Please don't think that I don't speak Chinese, but it just sounds like no. And I'm like, no. I like, this is obviously somebody trying to scam. And here's what they're doing. They're trying to scam people who what we call here are newcomers. That's how they say it here now. Newcomers. So, and they come, there's a lot of Chinese immigrants in the greater Toronto area. So they're trying to scam some of these people who just got here into giving up their information or purchasing something they don't need, getting their driveway repaved, the roof redone. And they're all scams. So, of course, I just hit call screen. As soon as I hear that, I hang it up. If that does that automatically, and somebody is calling me from what would otherwise be an unknown number, but it might be a doctor. Believe it or not, I've got a doctor call me back, and it came up unknown number. Had that been an automatic call, I might have missed it entirely.
Right. Yeah, you definitely want to screen it, but keep in mind, Google Voice has been doing this for a long time.
It's even longer.
It's just gotten integrated into Android on the handset.
Yeah.
But yeah, Google Voice has been doing that for a really long time. So they've
For
had
Americans,
the technology.
not Canadians.
Oh, Canadians
We've
can't
never
do
had
that?
Google Voice here.
Oh, that's right. Not
Never.
at all. That's right. Yeah. I
That's
remember you
right.
telling me that.
You have to actually have an American number to use Google Voice in Canada.
Huh. Didn't know that.
It's always
Yeah.
been like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot you told me that. So yeah, it's that's why when I saw that, I'm like, wait a minute. I've used Google Voice for years and years and years, and I've been able to do that for a long time.
I used to use it where I worked, like, well, let's just say a long time ago, and I loved it. But that's because he had an American number, because we shipped all over the world, but mainly to American states. So he had a Google Voice number.
Nice. That's smart.
Well, there you
That's free.
Yeah.
Very smart. Very smart. So yeah, I'll show you this since this kind of we got a segue. But here's one thing I want to show you too when I pull this up on screen. So I don't know, you might not be able to read that, but my first question is I basically had to re-ask the prompt because my first prompt said at an Apple keynote and it said, I can't generate that video. I had to take out the word Apple. It's the exact same prompt, but I had to remove the word Apple.
I don't get that. That's weird.
But this turned out like so perfect. Watch this, Kenny.
And that, my friends, is how we're going to shear the competition. And that, my friends, is how we're going to shear the competition.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Golly, that's the most accurate thing I think I've ever seen.
How did you word the prompt? Because I can't see. It's too small for me
Yeah.
to read it.
So I said, the first one I said, a large auditorium full of sheep at an Apple keynote tech conference, all standing up clapping at an announcement the keynote speaker just made. And then it said, I can't generate that video. So it's the exact same prompt, just without the word Apple in it. And that's what it generated.
But here's the thing. So you didn't tell it to have people turn into sheep as they got up?
No.
That's crazy. It knew to do that. See, now people say, oh, video's not good. It's not good. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was fantastic.
It probably said
better. That was much better than my Sasquatch, which was actually a gorilla, not a Sasquatch, doing his vlog.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It probably said, "Oh, I can't generate it for Apple because maybe I can't, show Apple, but I know what you want. So just remove the word Apple and I'll give you what you want." Because I couldn't have like scripted it any better than what it did.
Just imagine how good this is going to be when ChatGPT can do this natively.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if it understands that much better and it doesn't have these weird limitations.
Yeah. Also, too, when I just logged in to show you this, I just got a notification that Imagen 4 is available.
It already was.
No,
maybe just for Pixel owners.
Well, possibly, yeah. But on the web now, I've never had that capability, but I do now.
On the web? No, I never even thought of that. Yeah. It wasn't on the web for me either, so that must be it. I don't know if it's better yet. I don't even know how to test it because Imagine 3 was already really, really good. Because it only has to do a still picture, so it's actually really good.
And I keep saying Imagen. I'll probably just keep saying Imagen forever.
Yeah,
I know it's
whatever.
Imagine, but yeah.
Kenny, have you ever used a
Yes.
image generation with Gemini? Imogen? I'm saying it again.
Yeah, it was really frustrating earlier yesterday. I was using it for YouTube, and it's good for what it does, but yeah, it wasn't successful.
What do you mean? You were trying to get a thumbnail or something?
Yeah, so Gemini, in all of its power, wisdom, and glory, refuses to take a prompted image and edit it. It will not do that. It has to do its own image. And I basically said, hey, here's the product. Give me an image based off of this product. And it said I can't do that. And it just spit out its image again. And it's like, well, this is the wrong product. And so that was pretty frustrating, to be quite honest with you.
Well, okay, wait a minute. Are you saying you gave it a picture or just a prompt?
No, I gave it a picture. I gave it a picture.
Yeah, I don't know why they won't allow that, to be honest with you. They're like, oh, you can put a picture in here, and here's what you can do with an edit. And I totally forgot because I was trying to figure out how to do this before. And by the way, it's broken. It worked the day they announced it. It doesn't work anymore. Not for me. I put a picture of myself. I took a picture of myself because I first heard the announcement. Decided I'd try it out while I was at work. I was on break. I took a selfie of myself, which I don't do because I hate selfies. And I said, make my hair blonde and shoulder length. Just because I wanted to see if it did it flawlessly. I cannot, for the life of me, get it to actually do if it changes anything, it either says it can't do it, just like you said, or it takes me out of the picture and puts a blonde woman in it. in my place.
Yeah, I
And
mean, what's
you remember-
frustrating.
Sorry, go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Kenny.
Well, I was going to say what's frustrating is that it won't even take your image as a template. It won't even allow it to do that. The
Yeah.
only thing it would do close is maybe try to use the product as reference, but it won't even use your image as a template, which I find pretty ridiculous.
But that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Day one, it did. But it only
Well-
lasted like 2 days or something, and then it stopped working.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
I was gonna
somebody's
say.
making decisions to let you do something, and then someone else is going, "Oh, we can't do that because somebody's going to complain and we're going to get sued."
Well, I don't know
And
how
all of
long
this- all
ago
of this
after.
stems-
Sorry, go
I was gonna
ahead.
say, all of this stems from early on when they first started doing the first Imagine or Imagine, whatever, and people generated things that apparently weren't good. I don't even remember the story or what happened, but then they had to
George
pull it, and you-
Washington.
What?
George Washington. George Washington is
George
where that's.
Washington.
Well, they wanted him to produce a picture of George Washington with ice cream. That's what started what you're talking about.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
I thought it was something racist or something like that.
Yeah, no,
So
I
it wasn't
mean,
even serious. And they're like, and they're all freaking out because I remember what they did was they pulled it, and what was it, about 6 or 7 months before they finally let us generate pictures again. With
it
people,
depends
that is.
on who you. It
Pictures with
depends on
people.
what group of people you ask who had found it offensive. I mean, I thought it was pretty silly, but what? Yeah. So, what was your add-on, Robert?
No, I was just going to tell Lionel, if he remembers, we took a picture of two people and we made it change the shirt colors back and forth.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it did that
right, yeah.
flawlessly. That was like several days after it came out. So
No, it wasn't several days. That was like 3 days. I remember.
Okay.
I remember that. It
that-
was
that-
not
that's
long.
several.
Yeah,
But
in America,
That's-
in America down south, several is 3.
Several is 3 down south, eh?
yeah. So, but anyways, yeah,
Well, all y'all.
it worked for a hot minute.
All y'all just playing now.
Hey, that's an
Okay.
accepted time metric down south, buddy. But yeah, it basically what happened is they race swapped George Washington, and that's what started that whole thing.
My God, man, where are people? I mean, come on. It's like, Jesus, you know, people have to remember something. There were no women doing plays in Shakespearean times. The men played men and women. And today, you can't actually have a white person play the role that a black person originally played, or vice versa, because it's cultural appropriation.
Well, now hold on. Marvel is giving that a shot with the new Black Panther, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, they also made Captain America black.
Huh?
I mean, he was
Well,
black in the
he's
comics.
it's actually Falcon, but
Yeah, he was black in the
he's
comics.
the new
though.
Captain America.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, people were mad that they skipped over the Winter Soldier because in the comic run, the Winter Soldier was actually the next Captain America.
Well,
so.
he's, of course. Why the hell would they have done that? That doesn't make any sense. You know,
No idea. No
well,
idea.
you know what? Nobody gives a shit about Marvel anymore. They ran the course.
Yeah,
But that's
true
not
that.
what we were talking about. Nonetheless, we were ragging on Apple and Google. Wait a minute, we have nothing good to say about tech today at all, do we?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess not. We've had a bunch of tech issues getting on here. We talk about stupid tech. You know, Gemini being an idiot. You know,
But,
yeah.
but ChatGPT is actually probably the strong horse in the race today.
Yeah, I was about
Yeah.
to say we were bragging on ChatGPT's memory recall. I mean, it's pretty top dollar.
Yeah, Glitch did a good job, so I'll give him credit.
Yeah, and I did try it out today, and naturally it said, "Hey, you can try this out for," because I don't pay for it, right? So I got to try the new voice thing, whatever, that Taco does not like. I do think it's much better, and I'm still pissed that Gemini. By the way, when you do, and you probably know this, Kenny, and I don't remember what site it is. It's about, what the hell do they call it? AI. Oh, I can't
Playground?
remember what it's called.
The AI
could be it.
playground.
Yeah, where you could actually do an experimental version of Gemini with a lot more voices that are just like the ChatGPT ones, where all that personality comes out and everything, and they, they can even whisper and stuff like that.
Oh,
Well, I
you're
don't know about the whispering,
you're
but
talking about Google's new AI playground,
yeah,
ai.google.com. Yeah.
yeah, and it's actually quite good. If they throw that into the regular Gemini app, or at least on the website for a while, then they're part way there. But without that memory, they're really screwing it up. But
Yeah, I
throw
agree.
the memory into it, and it's easier. And the main thing about the memory is, even if it messes up, if it's got the memory, then you can get it to draw back from that and start from scratch, but without having to go all the way back to the beginning. And in
Yeah.
its current state, when it screws up, it does exactly what you said, and it can't get itself back on track again.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier when we were talking about its problem solving, that if you try to modify anything, so if you give it a 5-step problem and you try to modify step 3 and then repeat steps 4 and 5, Gemini, it just can't do that. And it won't do it.
Now, oddly enough, if I'm not trying to do the problem solving thing technically, and I'm just using regular Gemini, I can get it to do quite a bit, and then I can have it modify, and it does it perfectly for me. But I'm not doing anything overly complex. I'm simply asking it to give me a format, a scripted format for the podcast show.
Yeah.
And then I say, okay, well, that sounds great. However, I don't like this one thing. Give it to me again, minus that thing, or change the name of that or something. And then it does. And I listen to it again, and it's perfect. And then I tell it one more time, okay, give it to me one more time, so I know exactly how to find it to copy and paste it. And then
Yeah, I'm talking
that and do it. But
I'm talking more of like their
in
scripting.
depth.
Yeah, I'm talking about like their scripting. So when I'm doing like automations within like UiPath or Java scripting, it cannot go back to a previous snippet and correctly produce the full
That's pretty
code.
bad, actually. That's pretty bad. And one of the worst parts about that, I was thinking it'd be nice if we actually had a website for our podcast. And I thought, well, maybe we could use Gemini to help script it. And I'm telling you right now, if we do this, we're going to Chat GPT to do it. Because maybe even Perplexity, but not Gemini. Because what you're telling me, we're going to make a website, and then with Gemini, and it's going to end up looking like GeoCities. Circa 1999.
Yeah.
Well, but look, iOS now has liquid glass, translucent appeal. I mean, look.
That's that same look that Android users decided they didn't give a damn about 9 years ago, right?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Here we go. Here's one. How about AirPods can now take pictures?
I'm sorry.
Snap it.
Oh.
You can snap a picture with your AirPod. How about that?
Whoa.
Huh? Whoa.
Whoa, that's big. Hey, that's big.
That might sound cool, but I'm just gonna imagine that I've got my AirPod in my ear right now. Okay. Oh. Why not just do this? You already got your hand on the phone.
But what if you set your phone up and you come back here and you're like, I mean,
Oh, well, you know how I do that? I put my phone down and I go like this. That's it. It takes
Yeah, I know.
automatically.
Oh, I thought you meant like the AirPod had a camera in it and could snap a photo.
Oh, that
no,
would be cool,
it's
though.
just to take the picture. But like my Samsung, I can just hold my palm up and it'll start. It'll count down and it'll just take the picture.
All
Robert,
Android phones can
they
do
are
that now. That's
trying,
built into
okay?
Android now. That's not even a Samsung thing anymore. But
Hey.
with well, actually, not just Pixels, but a lot of different manufacturers, you can do the thing where you just smile. That's all you have to do is smile, and it takes the picture. So
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
what else you got? Come on, hit us with more.
Okay. Okay. Oh, wait. Here we go. They've added some swipe gestures to Apple Watch. Oh, wait. No, that's already been done too. Wait. Here's one. Oh, yes. AI workout companions. Android does not have that.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Well, technically, I don't think I do unless I ask one of the AIs that I have access to. Well, I guess
A-
I do.
Well, Lionel, Android Health, but sorry, Robert.
But is it an AI companion? I know what the health app is.
Companion. I'm sorry, I don't know if they call it a companion, but
Yeah, see, so Apple's got that one. Okay, there you go.
Well, I mean, it doesn't take much to like what.
So here's what's funny.
Work out harder.
So I asked ChatGPT, I asked Glitch to give me a comparison of the Apple announcements based on what Android has and has already been, come out. And it said, oh, absolutely. It says Apple's new live translate feature. Android has had something similar since Google Translate and even live transcribe features for some time. Oh, another one is multitasking improvements on iPad. Kind of mirrors what Android tablets have been doing for a long time with split screen and multi-window modes. Oh, and then if you look at the gesture controls on Apple Watch, those are kind of similar to some of the gesture features that have been in Android Wear. So I'm just yeah.
I mean, any announcements that haven't already been done on Android, in most cases, at least 3 or more years ago.
I think we're going to have to accept that Apple's R&D department is them walking down and buying an Android device and bringing it back.
You know what? As you say that too, Steve Jobs is somewhere. I don't know if it's heaven, hell, purgatory, or whatever, but he's like just mother. If he came back to life right now, he would fire every single human being in Apple and probably hunt down Elon Musk. I don't know why he would, but
well, unfortunately, Steve Jobs and Apple have been taking L's ever since his live interview on a news channel, and they pre-announced the iPhone before he was ready. So that kind of started their whole wave of a loss, unfortunately.
Yeah, and they always make fun of Apple too when they got on stage at one time and like the phone wouldn't work.
Yeah,
That's
but in
typical
all
iPhone.
fairness, that happened to Bill Gates. It's happened to the Samsung, whatever his name was, the president of Samsung.
Yeah, but when you combine everything else together,
What?
When you combine everything together, just kind of like shit piled on top of shit.
Yeah, but you got to remember something too, though. At one point, Apple did, well, maybe, I don't know if innovate's the right word, because, they would buy other companies and blah, blah, blah. But they did actually release a number of things before other companies or do it better. Originally, there were things that they did do better. Sure. A perfect example is on an early iPhone, you could use Google Maps and you could actually see yourself going down the road on the map, right? As you're driving along. It was real time. On Android, it was like this. 10 minutes later, you were suddenly here.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, exactly, right? Music on an iPhone was brilliant out of the gate. There was virtually no Android phone that had decent music until at least, I want to say, the one before Kit Kat.
Was that ice cream?
Was
ice cream after Kit Kat? I don't even remember.
You don't know how to spell? It's alphabetical, man. Kit Kat's a K. Ice cream's an I.
I get what you're saying.
Okay. Ice cream sandwich. That would probably be actually it. So it would have been a couple prior to.
Trying to get my camera to refocus.
Oh yeah, it's kind of a little slightly out.
Yeah, I'll just be blurred for the rest. Here, I'm just gonna get it one more time.
Blurred
slowly.
Oh,
that's the only bad thing about these webcams. I know
it's getting worse.
Did
No,
I not
think
leave
what
good
you-
enough alone?
I think what you need to do is put your hand up in front of your face and then move your hand after it focuses. Oh, well, that didn't work either.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah, whatever.
All
I'll just be
right.
blurry.
Are you using an iPhone?
Yeah. Yeah, you think so.
I could not resist that
There's
one.
the iPhone.
Hey, yeah, there it is.
Oh man, are you joking with me?
I thought you
What
weren't
in
using the app anymore. I thought
I'm
you were
not
just
using the app. Oh
Well,
man, that's
it
crazy.
decided to take
I may
over.
have to actually bail and come back because I don't know why it's doing that. That's very strange. You guys
think
talk
that's,
amongst yourselves for a minute while I fix my problem.
Okay.
I think that's your phone letting you know you're ready to exit stage left. So
Oh
I
man.
guess it got tired of hearing us dunk on Apple, and it said, "All right, I guess your podcast is done."
Well,
Said 40
no, I
minutes is
mean,
long enough.
it is an Android, so it doesn't mind us dunking on Apple, but yeah, that's old developer conference was something or nothing actually.
It was fantastic and phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that really thought it was amazing. Hey, there he is.
I
all
don't
messed
doubt that
up
there
now,
was plenty
though.
of people that were impressed by it. In fact, we just saw a video of all the people that were impressed by it. So
There we go.
Yes.
That was a
Yeah.
bad joke. Okay.
Oh yeah, insane.
So, anywho,
So talk about some of the feature drop items that you may or may not have yet or may never get, but sound pretty cool.
we're talking about Pixel feature drop.
Yes.
There's
Yeah,
none.
What do you mean?
There's none. The Android 16, all of the what did they call it? Something about material.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, it's supposed to
what
like
called.
yeah, it's they're redesigning the whole thing.
Yeah, but here's the thing: Google, unlike Apple, never said that you were going to get it out of the gate from Android 16. They said it was coming in Android 16, so nobody has expected it. It's still in a beta that we're not going to see until probably September. So the few things that they may have added for the so-called feature drop are things that either were already there, haven't been pushed to the phone yet, or aren't interesting. To be honest with you, I don't even know what they are. It's nothing that interests me. It's nothing spectacular that they've decided to add to it. All the good stuff is not going to happen until, well, I'll have a new phone by the time it does.
Well, you got really cool Gboard stickers, fun customizable stickers powered
You
by
wanna make a
Pixel
bet?
Studio.
You want to make a bet?
I'm just saying what it has. Advanced photography skills.
Yeah, no.
Hey, there you go.
Same
yeah,
camera.
yeah.
Nothing's changed.
Get more details from expressive captions, whatever that is.
Whatever it is, it doesn't happen.
AI powered editing in Google Photos.
Nope. Nothing.
You don't have any of that?
No, none of it.
Are you sure you have a
This-
Pixel?
Listen, the last time they did this thing where they said, "Oh, you're going to get these extra features in Google Photos and these extra things that you can do in whatever other apps and so on because you have a Pixel and so on," and this is a feature drop. They didn't give it to me until 6 days before the next feature drop, 3 months late. What? You see, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I think we should just put up a cartoon of me in place, and I'll just speak audibly from this point on.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to stay on, and we're going to leave it as an audible. Yes, I said it. We're calling an audible. Oh, it's football season in Canada now.
Yeah, they're in training camp right now, I think, aren't they, Kenny?
Training
yeah.
camp.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Cam Ward's look like he's doing pretty good so far in camp. So
Yeah,
What the
they're
hell are
doing
you
a
talking
summer mini
about?
camp. So football.
Okay.
yeah.
Training camp. I'm talking about CFL. It's real football. Man
all right.
football.
Well, that's you guys have a wonderful night.
Hey, I'm just kidding with you. Listen,
You talking about where all the NFL wash-ups go? Yeah, I hear you.
that is absolutely not true. If that were true, then why are some of the greatest players actually ended up there? After they proved themselves here, they did go to the NFL because you guys have more money. You know,
I promise
more
you.
prestige.
I promise you, nobody elected to go to the CFL first.
Actually, that's not true.
Those are all undrafted free
that
agents.
literally is not true. There are a few that did. I kid you not.
That chose the CFL over the NFL.
There's been a couple.
Lionel, name 5.
I am not going to name 5. I said a couple. What, do you do everything in reverse? So several is only a few. A couple is 5.
No. You're talking about CFL, so we're talking about that Canadian math, eh?
Okay, all right. I'll tell you what. I will name you a legendary
Oh boy.
NFL person.
Okay.
One of the greatest of all time. Okay, he was a coach. But well, he was actually a player originally too.
Oh. I thought you were going to say Doug Flutie.
No, I wasn't going to say Doug Flutie. What? Why would I say Doug Flutie?
It was a joke.
Of all the people who did great in the CFL, he really did drop the ball in the U.S. Anyways. No, I was just going to name the legendary Bud Grant. Now you're going to sit there and go like, well, who's Bud Grant? Come on.
All right, let me Google him.
Are you kidding me? All right. Google.
Kurt Warner, wasn't he
is.
Canadian? No, I don't know. He wasn't Canadian.
Bud Grant is American. Well,
no, I said Kurt Warner.
Now.
Text. 1. A person, Ulysses S. Grant. This is perhaps the most famous Grant.
Again, point well made.
Gemini's stupid.
Does anybody here think that anybody said Ulysses?
No. Negative.
That's a big negatory. Ulysses. Okay. So, yeah, listen, I'll put you there. Bud Grant was a player and eventually coach of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Got him some Grey Cups. Then he went off to Minnesota. And if I remember correctly, won a Super Bowl. Or at least went to the Super Bowl. Anyways, it was a pretty wild ride for him to go from player to player coach to coach, win Grey Cups along the way, and then go to the U.S. and immediately get into the Super Bowl. Well, not immediately, but a year later, whatever. I don't know that any other coach has ever done that.
All right. So I've just done a bit of stats. Is Bud Grant? Is that what we're coming up with? Is that?
Yeah, I didn't say he was the greatest coach ever. I was just joking.
Yeah, he. So as I said before, he went to the NFL, washed out, and then went.
He
to
didn't
the
wash
CFL.
out.
Yes, he did. He was he played for the Eagles, and then he wanted too much money at the end of the 1952 season, and they cut him, and he went to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
I said as a coach. As a coach. You're looking at his stupid playing career. He was never that good a player. He was a great coach. Hey, look up Milt Stegall.
Is this going to be another 1950s era player?
No, and it's not. And it's not going to be. You're not going to see him in the NFL either. Just look up Milt Stegall.
So he don't play for the NFL?
No, but look up Milt Stegall.
Did he ever play for the NFL?
Stegall with an A, E-A. S-T-E-A, whatever.
Okay. So he first started at the Cincinnati Bengals, washed out, and then went to the Winnipeg
He didn't
Blue Bombers.
wash out. Wait a minute. No. He did not wash out. He was like freaking 12 years old when he was there. I'm exaggerating a little bit. But the point is he wasn't quite ready. That's all. And instead of sticking it out, that's not a washout. That's not like he rang the bell. When he had a chance to go back to the NFL. And look at his stats with the Bombers. Check his stats out with the Bombers. What did they say? Come on, what did they say?
I mean, congratulations. I mean, that's CFL stats, man. What do you want me to say?
Yeah, but you know what? They're also stats that are better than almost every other NFL receiver in history.
You know why?
Including some that started in Canada before they went to the NFL and became great. So how do you not give him credit if there were other great NFL players? I'm telling you. Anybody who can catch that many fucking touchdown passes, and by the way, he holds a distinction. He's the only freaking receiver in the history of the CFL, at least over a certain amount of plays, who's never been caught from behind. If he caught the ball and you weren't beside him, you didn't catch him.
Well,
never in the
I'm
whole
here
career.
To tell you, the CFL boasts players that went CFL to NFL. Doug Flutie's on that list.
That's not fair. You're being cruel, man. You're being very
What do you
cruel.
want me to say? The only player that you have that was of any success, in my opinion, was Warren Moon. I mean, other than that, what do you want
Warren
me to
Moon
say?
was a washed up piece of garbage. He didn't do nothing. I'm exaggerating. I just didn't like Warren Moon because he played for the team that knocked my team out of the. But never mind.
I'm really enjoying this banter right now. This is some good shit.
I mean,
All right. You know what? If you want to go there, let's talk about who has the better hockey. No, let's not.
I mean, what do you want me to say? That's an all around Canadian sport. However, we have an American that just might topple a couple Canadians as soon as McDavid gets hurt and leaves.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Listen, I've said this with Robert before and on the podcast too. Canada's reign at the top isn't really even there. We're not even at the top right now. America actually holds the crown right now. U.S. won the world championship this year for starters. Does it mean anything?
Yeah,
not all the best.
No,
nah, maybe not.
You guys won the
Canada,
Battle of the Nations. No.
Yeah, but okay, wait. Who won the last Olympics?
Who cares about the Olympics, man? Come on.
Was it Canada or the States? I actually don't remember because it's gone back and forth enough times that I don't remember.
I don't know. No,
right?
What matters to me is NHL and the Battle of the Nations. I mean, that matters, but the Olympics.
You know what matters to me? That Canada does better than the U.S. At the World Cup.
Do they?
Wait a minute. Hang on 1 second. Wait. Hang on.
Because I think one of the last times we met, I thought it ended in a draw. Now, for what it's worth, the U.S. men always come in hot.
Let me try that again.
Out, so.
Let me try that again. What matters most to me is that Canada will beat or do better than America in the next World Cup of soccer.
I mean, I could see that.
Yeah, that was the crickets. You heard the crickets, right? I was just kidding.
Yeah, we heard the crickets. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no way that Canada is going to do better than the States in soccer World Cup. I wish that were true. But
I mean, we always eliminate ourselves second and third round. So I mean, it
second and third round, Canada won't make it into they're guaranteed a spot, just like the U.S. and Mexico. and they will still manage to actually probably not win a single solitary match, just like they did the last World Cup. They walked in there, everybody going, "Oh my God, Canada is doing really good." Oh Jesus, they lost 3 straight and they're out.
I mean,
it wasn't 3 close games either. They were destroyed 3 games in a row.
well, I mean, we're not going to beat a European team or a South American team, so it is what it is.
Well, no, wait a minute. America might be able to beat a South American team.
Well, if Messi stops playing, maybe.
Well, he's not playing for all South American teams, is he?
No. No, Lionel.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, I don't know what to say about that. We got way off the topic, but who cares?
I was sitting here just enjoying this, who done this, who done that. I mean, it's been good shit.
I mean, I was going to let it go until we started busting out with some CFL nonsense. Like, let's,
you know what?
Let's pump the brakes there.
Listen, you could say whatever you want, right? But I'm going to say the same thing to you, and I'm still trying to get Robert to watch a CFL game with me, where we could just like put this thing on instead of, but not streaming it, obviously, and watch the game so he can actually see a game live as it happened. I can get his reaction. You should join us for that because I think you'll be quite surprised. It's not as big a gap as you think. If you take away I'd say probably, how many teams are there in the NFL?
I think 32 now.
Okay. Take away the 10, maybe even 12 best teams, and then you take the top 4 teams from the CFL, and I guarantee you put them on a field, you're not going to be able to guess who's going to win. There's no way. You take the top of the NFL teams, yeah, they're gonna smack the CFL team silly.
I don't think a CFL.
I'll tell you why. It's not necessarily because of the quarterback, because your top 5 quarterbacks are going to be better. There's no doubt about that. But when it comes to a lot of the other players, not necessarily. But here's where you guys have a massive advantage. Your O-line is about 19,000 feet taller and about 400 tons heavier per guy than our O-line. Okay? They're just massively huge. And not only do you know this by just watching games, I've actually spoken. I mean, I got this from the lips of a guy who played in the CFL, and he was also a wrestler. Lex Luger, not Lex Luthor, Lex Luger. Okay, and he told me this personally himself. Okay, as I was looking up at him because he's a huge man. and he was mentioning his days with Montreal, and I was like, "What? You played in the CFL?" And he's looking down at me. He's like, "Yes, I did back in whatever day it was." And I said, "Oh my God, you must have been on the offensive line or something." He says, "What, are you kidding me?" He laughed. He said, "No, I'm nowhere near big enough to play on that." And I said, "Oh, what, are they as big as the NFL line?" He says, "No, not even close." So that's where the NFL has a massive advantage. So yeah, if a CFL team and an American team played each other on any field, our team would probably not get, or sorry, our defense probably wouldn't be able to stop your O-line. Like, you would just push them back.
Well,
yeah, I'm not kidding. They would literally just push them back and make a hole.
Well, Robert, it is closely encroached my bedtime, so
yeah, we're pretty much done. We're just I was just letting you guys duke it out. It was fun watching. So yeah, on that note, and the fact that Lionel's camera is a big triangle or a rectangle with a slash,
yeah.
I guess we'll definitely wrap it up. So, Kenny, thanks for coming on. We'll definitely have you again. It was a lot of fun, and yeah. So I am Robert from Nashville, and we have.
And I am the black screen from Toronto.
And then say goodbye to Kenny from Nashville as well, and we'll see you next week. Peace.